What's up, gang? After going over our pulls from last night and some other resources, I've put together a strategy that's a little more tailored to the amount of gear we have this late in the tier and the potential that it gives us. I just want to take a little time to go over that with you guys before we get started for tonight. So, beginning with boss phase 1 and 2, this is the entrance of the room up here. Keep that in mind for your perspective of this picture. We're going to start to the left of the room and do our first set of bombs and lasers over here. All the laser patterns are preset. There are quite a few. I don't know how many there are, but it tends for this area and this area to be safer and easier to get to various safe zones based on the laser patterns, and we're going to play around that. So, first set of bombs and lasers will be done over here, and we'll shift to the middle, kill the first ad, pop our assigned move speed to do the first Grim Portent, and then shift over to the skull marker for the potential of bombs and lasers too. In the first boss phase on pull, with our potions, we're going to be able to skip second bombs and lasers every time. I don't know if that's going to be the case for boss phase 2. We need to prepare to deal with these in the second boss phase, so that's the plan here. Just understand what we're going to be doing. Now, we'll be on skull or around skull as we leave the first phase and go into each of the intermissions here. The range will just shift towards the outside of the room. You're going to stack up here. This will be a good range from where we're taking the ads on red. You'll be able to dodge despair, no problem from there. This ad being much closer is going to be our first primary target. The moment he gets in range, start blasting him. The second ad, we're going to use MDs and our more mobile monk tank along with their speed taunt to try to quickly drag this guy over as well. We'll just cleave onto him and switch after we kill the first ad. With the despairs being desynced, we really want to focus the first ad that we can get on and try to burn it down as quickly as possible, so that it's just easier to interact with and line the despairs, especially for melee. Having the two desynced despairs creates a lot of downtime. Honestly, it just kind of sucks. It's a lot easier for us to just kind of blast one down. We don't need to worry about keeping them even or anything like that with the amount of damage we have, so that's going to be the plan there. Now, for the people specifically assigned to the runes, we have a lot of time to do the runes. We have so much time, in fact, that you can wait out and entirely commit your movement to dodging the first despair from each of the ads, which is going to help especially the players in the outer rings here. But in general, anyone could end up being within 25 yards of those ads. You need to be aware and dodge the first two despairs. Then I will do the 3, 2, 1 countdown. You will always have enough time to dodge the first despair from each of the ads, and then we can do the count to knock out the runes. So that is going to be the plan. All right, going into the third phase here, we will be around, I don't have X up. We'll be around X, and we're going to quickly shift back towards our skull marker. Get ready for our first set of bombs. Now, bombs 1 will be dropped against the wall. They will interact with lasers. And then instead of Grim Portent, we're going to get the only set of runes we will deal with in the final phase. There will be 4 that go out. You will not be knocked back for the first 5 seconds of the runes getting set up, which means you can immediately go to your rune and you should be standing on it in the last phase so that the 4 of you start rotating your runes immediately. If you are on your runes as they activate and start rotating them immediately, you will make it every time, from what I can tell. It will always work. We're going to commit to that for now. If there are any issues, we'll make changes, but that is the plan. 4 players will go to their assigned runes, stand on them immediately, solo those. On the back end of completing those runes, we're going to get the second set of bombs. This is where we're going to use our move speed in this last phase instead of the Grim Portent, because there is no Grim Portent in phase 3. The move speed is going to be used to help those players get across the room, and honestly, you kind of just need to get out with these bombs. It doesn't really matter where you go. You could even drop some like sort of near the middle, as long as you're not dropping them on players who are doing the runes on the back end of our rune completion in phase 3. You just need to make sure that the bombs get away from the group, and you drop the bomb echoes away from the group. Now, once that's done, we're going to once again group back up around skull. We're going to prep for potentially bombs 3 plus the second set of lasers, the triple lasers. but there is a good chance the boss is dead or basically dead by that point with all of our cooldowns, potions, lust running. Just understand that's the plan. If we get the second set of bombs plus lasers, it's going to be once again dropped right behind us. And there will be space because this other set of bombs removed the initial echoes, and we won't really have to move around at all for third phase. So third phase, we're just going to shift from X to Skull, pop Lust, start slamming, be ready for the single set of runes. Second bombs need to get way out, but they can go basically anywhere. And then we will do the third set of bombs plus second set of lasers as we push to the finish here. And that should be basically it. The toughest thing we're gonna have to deal with is gonna be the second set of bombs that line up with the lasers in the third phase and potentially in the second phase here. As I mentioned, because we don't have potions, there is a good chance we are gonna get bombs too, along with the triple laser set in phase 2, and that's gonna be tough. Basically the hardest thing mechanically in this fight is the bombs plus lasers overlap. But with our positioning that I've set up here, should be easier to make it to safe zones based on the preset lasers. And in general, it's something we can absolutely do and potentially even skip with the damage we have. So that's the plan for tonight. The last thing I want to talk about is DPS cooldowns. There is a potential I'm going to have to shift around a few of the damage cooldowns because we're pushing so quickly that they won't come up. Starting tonight, I'm going to have 2-minute cooldowns hold in the first intermission. We're going to simply use 2-minute cooldowns at the start of each of the primary boss phases, so phase 1, 2, 3. 3-minute cooldowns, those are a little bit weirder. Right here is a kill video where the group gets to the last phase in like not even 5 minutes here. They are basically done at like 5 minutes in this VOD, which has a short pull time at the front, which means like 6-minute cooldowns come up, or sorry, 3-minute cooldowns come up basically as they kill the boss. Their boss kill time is like 6:25, 6:20, something like that. So it's something we may need to keep in mind. There is a possibility where 3-minute cooldowns cannot be used in the second phase, and they need to be held for the last phase to line up with Lust. If we have to hold 3-minute cooldowns, it guarantees that we get second bombs and second lasers in phase 2, and that's probably going to be the most difficult or one of the most difficult things we deal with. So just understand what the plan is there, how we're going to deal with it, but this is all very doable. The first phase and the second phase are going to be basically the same, other than that second bomb plus laser set we're going to deal with. Both intermissions are exactly the same. Phase 3, very similar. There's not too much here. The toughest part is going to be bombs plus lasers. That's really what you need to be focusing on. It's totally fine to use immunes. I don't think there's any DR that will keep you alive, but immunes especially, if you can create space for other players and things like that, do it. Stand right in a laser, pop your immunity, make room for others, whatever you have to do. We just need to get to the finish, and we need to use every cooldown to do that here. And with that being said, that is the plan for tonight. If you guys like this, if you have any criticism, thoughts, anything like that, let me know. It's definitely something I can do, reformat, whatnot in the future. And yeah, I'll catch you guys a little later tonight, and let's do the best we can, see if we can knock this out here.